Fucking Lucas, you are rapid, bruv. I'm a twat.com. Look at Amber. He's like that fucking sad bastard.
There's a new one for you.
Go on, Lee. Do your intro, mate.
I don't know. I just listen. Tonight this is the West Ham transfer window of shows that we're doing tonight. Everything, everything's sort of just.
But there's nothing to talk about. So let's talk about more conspiracy theories.
There's no conspiracy. This is Scott. Facts are facts. All right, facts are not conspiracies. Facts are
Chuck
facts.
Chuck Blazer got rich off U.S. soccer because FIFA let him, and he lived with all of his cats for so long, and he died near a litter box, I'm sure, but
he's probably eating out of it. He's a big dude.
Santa Claus.
He's probably having a snack. See, look at Mark. It's like it's a new start.
Nope.
It's the leftovers of the dumpster fire. I don't even know. How do I even Tim's fault. So Ken just texted me and said it's Tim's fault. Well, there may be some truth to that. Hang on, I'm gonna get him back here. Okay.
I'm sorry, Lucas. I love you. We'll move on. The past is the past.
Lucas, I'll stop with Roethlisberger too. I'll let it go.
It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. Today's been great.
I love how Lee's just rocking out the Chelmsford, American Chelmsford.
I'm repping a little. This is my boys' hometown. All right, this is where my boys are going to grow up. So
it's in the UK. How dare you?
The old one is.
It's in Essex.
Stole everything from us.
This is
New
modern.
York.
This is
how many of our cities are named directly after UK cities?
All the ones in the old.
There's quite a few, mate.
Right. All the ones on the East Coast, basically. Down when you get down until you get down to like
your
Florida.
biggest one, New York, was taken from Yorkshire. This country, the capital of Yorkshire, York. I didn't just say that.
She's laughing.
Yeah, I can hear her fucking laugh.
All I can hear is Rebecca repeatedly giggly laughing into the distance.
Wait, okay. How do I send the link to this? That's not like the studio link, but just the link where people can watch. I can't figure. What is wrong with me?
Just go back to the Twitter.
Sack him.
I don't know what's going on. I go back. Yeah, but it's a different link.
Boys has hired Lee to fuck up the stream.
What do you need help with?
I don't know. A lot of things. But
Fo, leave me alone. I'm fucking tired, dude. Okay, I've just had a long day.
It's been a long ass day, Lee. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, mate. I'm 13 hours of this stuff. And now we're going to talk about conspiracy theories and who shot JFK. You know what I mean?
Which we found out was Lee's parents.
Lee's mom.
My mother, yes. My dad was an expert rifleman in the Army. That is true.
Although looking at Lucas, it may have been him with that face right now. It does not look happy.
What are you talking about?
He looks so angry.
We think Lucas killed JFK. My dad shit.
She did what?
Lucas looks like a bad man killer. Lucas would do a home invasion on your ass.
I'm not going to make it.
I'll do anything for West Ham.
I'm not going to be able to talk for days after this. Oh God, no! Just leave it the way it was. Don't correct it. Leave it the way it was. Oh man, I'm starting to start.
Hang on, I need to get my Lucas hat.
Wait, Declan Rice is trending on Twitter. Does this not concern anybody else?
He trends every day on Twitter.
He does?
Yeah. I
have taken the last 2 weeks off of Twitter mostly. Like I've read a little bit, but you know.
Tom's talking about West Ham at 2:15, robbing a bank at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Oh yeah, I don't know about that. Hey Tom, do you remember there was a rock band?
SoundCloud, our little conspiracy theory. Sorry, go on.
There was a group from Wales, so like a band from Wales, and the guy was wearing a knit hat. Do you remember this? They were like in the 90s, maybe. The guy was wearing a knit hat.
You may have to ask Rebecca on that one because I'm too
Stereophonics,
young
is
for
it?
it.
That was every grunge band.
Yeah, that's probably true. That's probably
Middle of
true. That's probably
summer.
true.
Did you ever go to was it Lollapalooza? 110
No.
degrees outside,
Lord,
but the lead singer's wearing a beanie.
No. Yeah, right. No, that's what I'm talking about, though. Yeah, but no, I haven't because I just can't imagine that. That sounds awful to me. So
Oh, it was fantastic. Originally, it was great.
yeah. When was this? When was this that you did this?
Oh, Lucas, I don't know how you do it. It's so hot.
How many years ago was this?
Then I went to Lollapalooza. I was in high school.
Okay, but I don't know how old you are, so it's not really helping.
45.
Oh,
and you don't look a day over 30.
So I'm
Thanks, man. Thank you.
I'm 48. I'm
You
48,
good-looking
so
motherfucker.
I'm 48. So you and I are like the same age. You were like
Yeah,
a
I think
freshman.
so.
Yeah. No, I'm 48.
Night,
so
Fo.
we
Love
were in
you,
high school
Fo.
together. You were like a
Right,
freshman when
Fo.
I was a senior, basically.
Peace out, brother.
Okay, so it's this guy. They were called Badly Drawn Boy. Do you remember this group?
And when I was,
I'm not saying they were great or even good. I don't really remember
Rebecca
them. I
had
saw them on
finished
Jules Holland one time.
university.
How old is Rebecca, Tom?
Oh, she's well old.
This
God.
mofo right here, this dude right here, he always wore one of these hats.
She's not a day over 32, I don't think.
Rebecca,
You're right, she's not even there yet.
she's of legal age.
And then some.
In some countries. But it was this guy right here. He always wore that hat. And they were called Badly Drawn Boy, and I couldn't name one of their songs. I don't remember, but I just remember that dude wear that hat all the time. So,
it looks like he'd be in Clerks too. Like he's not so Silent Bob, but
He
he's
looks
not.
like
Clerks 2,
he
which
looks
is
like
the really
Tom's silent partner when he's about to go and do a robbery, mate. That's what he looks
Clerks 2, which is like
Right, why is it me that does the robbery? Why not Lucas when he wears the
because
hat?
you wore the
What do you-
hat. Oh,
So
well,
does
Lucas
fucking Lucas.
yeah, but Lucas
'Cause
always
you-
has one of those hats.
because
on.
you look like a robbing bastard, Tom. That's why, mate.
Right, Rebecca just
You
said it's
did look
because I'm from
sinister. You
Essex.
did look
That's
when
why
you
I
took
was.
when you took the glasses off. It was pretty frightening.
Yeah, Tom, you look like you would like rob someone of their like change,
He's
mate.
Welsh, so maybe I don't know.
You would rob GSP of their pound coins, mate. That's what you'd
Well,
do.
yeah, that I'd do, yeah.
Well,
Oh,
I mean, yeah. What happened, Gary? Tim cut us off. That's what happened. Tim just, you know, you know what? It was
Tim
a
had
power. It was a
enough.
power move on his part. All right, because that's what he likes to do. He wanted to remind us that he's the alpha dog, that he can cut us off when he wants to, and so that's what he did. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. So yeah, VAR is a conspiracy. It's not a conspiracy. It's not a conspiracy.
Did we just came all the way back to VAR?
Lucas,
It's not a
fuck off.
conspiracy. It's a tool that English football, the Premier League, and the Football Association use to give advantages to the top 6 clubs, the moneymaker.
So you don't think because Cresswell kept the twat on the side, Lee?
He didn't keep him on side. He didn't keep him on side. He didn't keep him on side.
What I want to know is, can
didn't.
jet fuel melt steel beams? That's what I'm at right now.
The answer to that is
You guys
possibly.
listen. No, you guys are talking about stuff that if you apply Occam's razor to VAR, you'll find that the most logical
Yeah, it's been a great show,
explanation-
Lee. I'll see you later, mate. Okay, thank
The
you.
most logical explanation is actually that it is designed and implemented to favor the
Lee, you're not one of these conspiracy theorists that think that VAR is against West Ham United Football Club.
No, it's against everybody except the top 6. Not just us.
Oh, I don't know, then, mate. Because
Villa, Southampton, Norwich. You throw anybody else you want to. Leicester, all of them. Not just us.
we got a penalty against Chelsea, and Chelsea are a top 6 club, and there's definitely a penalty, and we got a decision on that. Like we've had some good decisions this year from VAR.
Well, there's some that are obvious enough that they can't. There's some that are obvious enough that they can't, not make them. I mean, you do look at a replay after all, and if you see a penalty that's obviously a penalty, I mean, you can't be too overt about it.
If we need a sign-in, it's obvious that we need a sign-in, but this is GSB and David Moyes, and we don't need no sign-in.
That's no
Simple as
conspiracy. That's just fact. You know what I mean? That's just fact. John Black's had a curry. So if you're in the western part of the United States, you might want to watch out.
If you're in the
You might wanna-
vicinity of John Black,
32 in 8 days. Oh, that's so nice. Okay.
John back. Do you want to sign for West Ham or a loan with you to permanent? That's what I'm interested in.
She's a
I
young.
took-
She's a young woman, Rebecca. She's 31 years old. So there you go. That's
Who?
not bad.
Who's 31?
Rebecca. She
Not-
should be 32
Not
and 18.
Tom's better half. Not the better half of Tom Athers.
Of course.
I thought she was about 29 myself. but-
March on
well,
together.
I
Oh
mean,
no.
you get to a certain age, and 29 and 32 there's no difference. Like it does. There's
She's
no,
had an hard life for old ex, man.
I mean, I don't
honestly.
know. I mean,
Yeah, Rebecca, you poor soul.
what? Forget. So is that her birthday, February 8th?
She has to
Yes,
put
it
up with
is
Athers
indeed.
every single day, mate. That's the poor
Well,
sod,
we
mate.
gotta get to my birthday before hers, so it's okay.
Yours is a 6, you said?
Yeah.
Mine
Sexy
is
sex.
so my wife's is the 5th, and yours is the 6th. But there's no Super Bowl Sunday on your birthday this year, Lucas, because it's
Yeah,
that
you know,
stupid 2-week
I
gap.
had
which
some
I
I have
hate.
some great football memories on my birthday, like the Steelers losing to the Packers on my birthday.
How old are
It was
you,
super
Lucas?
sick.
Yeah, I remember
20,
that game. Yeah.
24.
Is Lucas 24, is he?
38.
No, mate. Yeah, there's no way you're 38, mate. Trust me. You're not like me, mate. You're not one of us. You know what I mean? You're a young pup, mate. You know what I mean? 100%.
I am 22.
Fucking hate, mate.
I'm
And you
20,
don't look a day over 38.
I think you're older than 22, aren't
20
you?
26 going on 27.
Yeah, there you go.
What
That's
is Vern on about? The most conspiracy can explain it in concern.
I don't know what he's talking
Sorry,
about.
Lee,
I don't know
how-
what he's talking about.
Ferdinand, I don't know what you're talking about, bruv, mate.
James,
but
James,
I'm half a bottle of Bailey's in, mate. Yeah, West Ham have not signed no players. David Moyes is a stubborn bastard, and you're worried about JFK and who shot him. You know what I mean? That's all I'm going to say.
Gary,
Lee-
holy crap! Seriously, Gary, I would never have thought.
Lee, how
Seriously.
old do you think I am?
You?
You're 26. Tom.
20 20 19?
I think you are 17 years old.
What are you doing talking to me then, you weirdo?
Yeah, that would be strange.
I'm
A bit
mentoring.
strangely.
I'm mentoring you. I'm mentoring you. That's what. I'm your mentor.
So
I'm,
we're-
you look up
So
to
are the
me.
guys in Lincoln Project, just mentors.
I don't. What?
Oh,
You need
more
to-
conspiracies.
Wait.
yeah.
You need to,
Oh, that's not conspiracy theory. He was found guilty. So that was actually
Lee, how old are
who
you,
was?
Lee?
Who was?
Right,
You're not a
all
day
right.
over
All
46.
right, Bill Cosby up there.
I'm 48. I'm 48. I'm
You
48.
ain't 48, Lee.
I am.
You
I
young
am.
pup, mate. You
40
look
I
it,
was-
Lee. You look,
Sorry, is
you
this
look
where
like
we
that.
just all tell each other's ages and everyone goes, "Oh, you don't look that old, mate." Come on.
Cheers,
Tom,
Jeff.
Tom.
Oh,
can I tell
no.
you-
Cheers, Jeff.
Tom, I think you're 27. Are you 27?
No, how dare you age me?
You're younger than that?
Yeah, I'm 17.
Oh,
He's
no.
he's
I mean,
26, mate. I'm telling you. I'm sure of it.
So your
He's
lady's
26
older. Than,
though.
so your lady's older than you are. That's what you're saying.
She is Anne Cougar.
A little Emmanuel Macron thing going on,
Well, maybe.
where his wife is like 20 years older. No, how she's a
I
lot
don't
older.
believe.
She was-
I don't
she was
believe
his- she was his
Rebecca's
teacher.
31, man. Honestly, she's 29, mate.
He
No, I
said
can
she was
categorically
30.
tell you she's not 29. So she looks about 25 only because of her condition, but
Oh,
This is a
that's,
good
that's a
thing.
bit harsh, Tom. Like, you could say she looks 25 because she
Oh,
looks
no.
young and looks 25.
Well,
wait.
no.
Or
If she was in
because
here, she
takes
would
care
tell
of
you.
herself.
I've
or-
got
No,
a
no,
con-
if
I've
she
got a
was li-
condition.
if
It's hard
she
for
was
me to
li-
walk around.
I swear to
sometimes.
God, if she was in here, she would literally tell you she looks younger because of her condition.
The president of
Don't
France.
you?
Fucking it.
Is it like she was born old and now she's getting younger?
No.
Oh.
Don't worry,
Her-
Bex. I will praise you up, girl. I will praise you up. I will
Her
say you're
Earlos.
29.
Her
That's
Ehlers-Danlos
true. I'm
syndrome.
virile.
it-
I'm virile. That's what it is. I'm
It
virile.
gives her soft, younger skin, legitimately.
Does it
So
really?
yes. I'm not even joking you. It literally
All
does.
the girls are going to want it if they find out about it.
Oh, they fucking won't want that.
All the girls want to in the
Okay,
club.
so imagine okay, the president of France is younger than I am. Do you guys realize this? The president of France, Scott, is 44 years old. He's almost exactly 4 years younger than I am. He's 44.
And he probably smells.
Of course he does, because the
He
French
probably
don't
does.
Because
shower.
he's French.
They
His
don't.
missus
They don't.
has got,
No, listen.
his
let me
missus
say
has
French.
got more hair on her arms than I have on my
The
fucking
French
pubes.
do not
Tom, you have to
they
go one
don't
over the top.
properly
There's
shower.
like
They
levels,
don't. They
bruv.
don't. They just don't. All right, I'm telling you they don't. I'm sorry, but they don't.
Leeds fans are so over the top.
He's 40. He's 44 years old.
Marching on together.
So he was elected when he was like 41. or 40 or something.
Lee, why are we talking about French politics?
Because he's got an older wife, like like he got an
Because
older.
Is
Talking
it because you're reminiscent about CEN? Is that what it is, Lee?
I'm
back-
because Tom has yeah, that's true too. Tom has oh dear. What? Okay.
That is
Okay.
true. Again, that is literally that is part of, all of her joints dislocate. That's what Ehlers-Danlos syndrome is.
Can she fit through tiny
Is that
spaces?
really? Is it?
Can she fit through like
I
in
could
tiny
almost put my
spaces,
foot
like,
behind my head.
I thought Tom was having a good, solid night of passion with Bex.
No,
and...
seriously.
No,
No,
can she crawl through little holes and stuff? Like, can she crawl through? Like, could she
no, well, she
crawl
can
through
just
a fence?
no. It's more just like she just dislocates. Like she will just get up out of bed and her shoulder will come out of its
So
socket.
when Tom turns around and says,
Oh,
"I'm
so
gonna break you, I'm gonna sort you out, girl," he does literally.
It's not
Christ, no.
intentional. She doesn't do it on purpose.
We stop that part of the conversation right now before I get in trouble.
Can she do it on purpose? Can she
Before
dislocate on
before
purpose?
she
Bex, I
starts
love you.
beating him.
I love you, Bex.
Say again, Lee.
Can she dislocate on purpose, or is it not? does it not-
I mean, she could if she wanted to. Yeah, it's not.
It's an
advised,
option, Lee.
but
It's an option.
It's wild, is what I would say. Literally, she'll put a shirt on and her shoulder will pop out.
Holy mackerel!
I just feel like
that's so
being
true.
broken.
Emmanuel
broken
Macron's
soul.
wife is 68.
Okay, Lee, you're
68?
more interested in Macron and
I'm
his
very
wife.
interested in the moment. Well, they used to make our kits.
Great
today.
shirt
That's-
sponsor.
Right, exactly. I have my Jack Collison.
Do you know
what?
Shirt is a,
Do you know what?
Macron.
This is why I love American Hammers, right? We just talk random shit, yeah.
Yeah,
Don't talk
what are
about
we
West
gonna talk
Ham,
about?
mate, because we don't
We
sound no
haven't
fuckers.
we haven't played in 6 months. The next game is against a kindergarten team, and we didn't sign anybody.
And
in
if I
January,
talk
so-
about the transfer window, I'm gonna cry.
right, so what else are we gonna? She's 60. Wow.
What are you gonna
She's
do?
24
What are
years
you gonna
older than
do?
she is. She could be his mother. Like that wouldn't even be all that weird.
She could be his mother.
Well, she could. She's 68. He's 44.
68,
Wow.
Lee.
That is-
What's the age
Oh, wait,
difference
that's-
between you and your partner, Lee?
About a year and a half.
Oh, ain't too bad.
Yeah, no, it's not bad. No, it's not. It's nothing. It's like she'd have been like 1 year behind me in school, so not a big deal.
Rebecca had finished university by the time I was in like year 10 at school, which is wild.
What? What? So you was 15 and she was about 21.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
mate,
My wife is
Always-
10
he
years
always
younger
is.
than me.
I know
Is she
how
really?
Raffles works, the
She's 10 years
cougar.
younger? All right.
Because
I
you-
don't know about this. I'm not sure. Ugh, I don't know. About that.
That is rough,
I mean,
mate.
like-
Isn't it?
She looks like she's come from the David Gold of wax museums. Like she's been kept alive cryogenically. Like
I mean,
She looks like the bird out of ET.
I mean, just like
she looks like fucking ET.
just get older. Just get older.
I mean this
hey,
in the most
Eh.
respectful way. She kind of resembles a mummy.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
No, it's not good.
Sorry,
But
can we
she's
stop
worse.
referring to me as a toy boy, please? I'm now
You-
deeply uncomfortable. I'm now
You
deeply
hussy.
uncomfortable.
Wow, I don't know what
You
to think
hussy
about
effers.
this.
We all know the truth. We all know
That's
the truth.
making me
son.
very nervous. I don't know. I mean, I don't. I really. It's you know what? It's that she's a little scary looking. You know, I'm not asking people to be attractive, but like,
Lee, we're not asking
imagine if you just like woke up and you saw her standing over you. What would you?
Lee,
do?
we're not asking you to take her out for a drink, son. We're asking
Well, no, I'm not gonna do that because you know she's married and she lives in France and she's married to a
And she's
relatively
worth
important guy.
way more money than I'll ever be worth.
Well, of course, but
I
it's,
just like
it's not- I mean,
Lucas, what the
Just
fuck
like
are
a
you
little-
doing? You look
just
like
like
you
a
just gone
little-
blackface to a fucking
Lucas just
party.
shuts himself out a way of life, isn't it? Oh, just,
I'm just avoiding the rest of January.
I don't want
Lucas,
to
why
judge
have you-
people how they look. It's just that like
Lucas, what
I'm-
you're doing
I'm
is not
saying she's a
PC in
little scary.
2022.
yeah, you can't do that, Lucas. You're gonna get us cut off. You're gonna get us canceled doing that, Lucas.
I used to do this photo on Facebook all the time.
Well,
Negative.
not in 22.
Well, you
Not in
used to,
2022,
but
you're
not
not.
anymore.
Lucas,
You're gonna get.
as I
You
said-
kind of look like a gnome, though. The face with the beard different color.
He does look like a gnome. You know, when I was like 7 or 8 years old, my aunt bought me a book about gnomes because she thought I was 5.
If you was a gnome, Lucas, you'd be getting nicked out of someone's garden in the ends, mate. Trust me.
No, someone would probably steal me off the lawn.
Exactly that, mate.
That's
They
what he
would do.
said.
They would literally nick you and flog you down some sort of market. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
hey, look. Okay. Chris is going to be on with us here in a little bit. She's all well. Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
That's probably why he's with her.
Listen. I don't judge people by how they look because I'm not exactly role painting myself, right? But all I'm saying is try not to look
Don't
scary,
play
like
yourself
actively
down,
scary.
Lee.
Well, she just looks a little scary. That's all. I'm just like, it's okay. You know what?
Lee, we need more confidence out of you, buddy.
Yeah,
Come on.
Lee.
Build yourself up here. Don't tear yourself down.
I'm confident
man.
that the Premier League and English football are biased toward the top 6 clubs. I know that for sure.
And VAR is the
Lee, come on,
their
mate.
tool.
We're not talking
It
about
is-
no mousy girl tonight, son. Not talking about no mousy
No,
girl
that's
tonight.
not Mousy. No, Mousy has a certain level of appeal, but that is not Mousy. So you guys think we're gonna get Jesse Lingard in the summer, or do you care?
Sorry, the fucking conversation switch is just wild.
Yeah, mousy girl, and he goes on the Lingard, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, I mean, we're his Mousy girl, but his like
And
controlling.
mousy girl's had multiple affairs, mate, and she's probably end up in the clinic somewhere. Lee. That's what it is, mate. I'm telling you the truth, mate. I'm telling you the truth.
His controlling girlfriend won't let him, come back to the. She's got it, So, do you care if we get him in the summer? Do you care about him at
They're
all?
jealous that we're bigger.
I think if you want me to be honest, going on to Lingard, I think he arrives in the summer. I'm free.
I actually kind of do too.
Yeah.
When it's too late because we've lost Declan, we've lost Bowen, and David Moyes has walked because the board didn't support him. And
Lee's like the prophet of doom, innit? We're going to sell Rice, we're going to sell Bad. Lee, I know it's the truth, mate, but I'm trying to make light of the situation.
I get that. I get that.
Lee, just lie to me. Lie to me for another 2 months.
Lee, bullshit us like GSP though. Just bullshit us. Come on.
I can't
Come on,
do it.
man,
The way
you
that
can
they're
do
so
it.
much. No, they're so much better at it than I am. I don't have those kinds of skills. I don't know how to lie the way they do. They're the masters. They're the best.
We're getting Mbappe on a free. We're getting Haaland. You know what's happening.
The board is going to pay high wages to somebody that's decent. Come on.
Well, no, this
Like
is
Yarmolenko.
This is a good question. Seriously, do you care about Lingard in the summer? He's going to be like 30. He hasn't played since he played for us. I mean,
Mate, I've got to put up with half a as a worker each week, mate. Lingard will do. Thank you very much.
well, it's not the same. I mean, well, yeah. I mean, I get what you're saying. Oh God, that's true. It will. Oh, you're right. He's right. This is true. This is what'll happen. That's what'll happen, and that's a bad trade. That's a bad trade. Very bad. But while he's right about this, he is right.
I've just realised that Rebecca is obviously messaging Lucas asking him to change my name to Mark Noble for life. It's so plain for the obvious when I can hear her giggling in the next
I don't even
room.
know how he's doing.
Mark Noble for life.
How are you doing? Lucas has all these things he does, and
Lucas, my God, your
powers
powers are just immense. How?
Well, it's all in the StreamYard somewhere, but I don't know how to do any of it. Look what he's doing. He's got all kinds of effects. It's crazy.
He's not doing that via StreamYard. That's in his that'll be in his camera settings.
Mate, he's got his camera settings, Lee.
Well,
and
I don't have camera settings. My camera's like in my computer. I don't have camera settings.
It's the most happiest I've ever seen Luke in his lifetime, mate. Just
Who am I? Cecil
He
B.
just
DeMille?
looks like Francis Bourgeois talking about trains. If you've ever seen them.
No,
when he straps the camera to his head and runs around giggling at trains.
Ken's right about this. We're gonna sign Lingard for like 4 years, and he's gonna be healthy for like half a season, and then he'll be a Winston Reed after that. We'll pay him for 3.5 years for nothing. That's what'll happen. That's exactly what'll happen. I don't know what this means at all. Okay. Maybe.
Lucas looks like the bloke out of Lord of the Rings, mate. I think he's going to like potions and shit.
I think West
Dobby
Ham
needs
West
the
Ham
ring.
Clips should do. West Ham Clips should do.
I mean, that's the greatest crossover since Lord of the Rings. Dobby from Harry Potter is going to take the ring back to Mordor. Fantastic work, Lucas.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Like, I don't know.
For stuff it, you bastard.
Not a single thing do I know what that means.
He's just basically he's mixed Harry Potter with Lord of the Rings, is what he's done.
Oh, okay.
Shameful.
See, I don't know anything about it. I'm not very good with that stuff. Yeah,
Shameful.
Lucas. No, West Ham Clips is Charlie Walsh, and I want everybody to know that. Okay, it's very important. that you all tell everybody you know.
It's
I
not
think
Charlie.
we've had-
It is
It's
Charlie
not
Walsh.
It's
It is
not
Charlie Walsh.
Charlie.
We
I
all know
can
that it is.
I categorically can tell you it's
There's
not
no way it's
I
Charlie.
Walsh,
can
mate.
tell
You
you-
ain't
I
got
can-
fucking
I-
time.
It's Charlie Walsh. I know it is. It's yes, it is. It is. So, Tom, stop trying to cover for him.
I'm not. It's
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what.
I've seen clips he's set up and he uses an iMac. Charlie does not own an iMac.
I'm sorry. You've seen his setup?
Yes.
How'd you see
So
that?
do you know?
He
do
showed
you know,
me it.
Wait,
Do
he
you know who
showed you
Clips
it?
is? Do you know
So
who Clips is? Then,
Charlie showed you.
Tom.
So
No,
Charlie
I don't know
showed you his
who
setup.
he is, but I know he sent me a picture of his setup. He sent it to me,
Oh.
Rebecca, and Charlie. We all know what his setup looks like, but he uses an iMac.
So Charlie sent a picture to himself and to you and Rebecca. That's
Charlie doesn't use an iMac.
when he's West Ham Clips, he does.
Do you know what, mate?
Tom,
Poor old Walshy, mate, gets a
honestly,
lot of
Tom,
shit, doesn't
Your head is in the sand over this. I don't know what the deal is. Anyway, yes. Well, right, because you and Charlie are friends. You know each other.
The gig is up.
This is not okay. Ken doesn't do social media. All right, so
I'm not talented. Real quick for the chat, I'm not talented enough to be him.
That's true.
Wow.
No, come on. Of course you could. You could be him. You could be Clips. You could maybe be better than Clips.
No,
and I could
who
be Ben
Clips
Roethlisberger,
are?
but
No.
you know, it's
Ken doesn't do social media. So West Ham Clips is a guy mostly on Twitter who does these 2-minute recaps of each West Ham game,
Oh, wrong one.
and he has commentary that he does, and they're very well done and very funny. And he uses like a computer voice for the commentary. It's like an automated computer voice for the commentary, and he's really well. It's really funny. So if you were ever anonymously browsing Twitter or whatever, it's usually Twitter, Instagram maybe, and you run across West Ham Clips, check his stuff out.
We are sailing. Listen, I've had a drink in 31 days, mate. I need to. It's got to a stage now where like that bottle of JD might have to be started getting drunk, mate, because West Ham have let me down in my life. You know what I mean?
Does anybody else think? Wait, who'd we lose? Tom? Did I finally kick him off? Yes, you're welcome. You're welcome. But you know what? Next time I see you, I'll show you some of his stuff. All right, it's pretty funny. Is Tom coming back? I don't know.
Tommy, come back.
I mean, does anybody else think? And I'm sorry, but this is how I feel. Does anybody else feel as though this is the beginning of a long, inevitable slide into mediocrity and relegation battles again? Because it just feels that way to me. It feels that way to me.
I think this is Gold and Sullivan taking every last dime they can out of the club right before they sell it and say, here you go. You got a Premier League team. Congrats. You got a Premier League place, not a team. You have to go out and do that one on your own. Oh,
no. Well, wait a minute, Rebecca. You can't say your internet's died on the internet. That doesn't make any sense.
Rebecca,
it's called cellular signal.
You got him under lock and key.
If you want proof that Charlie Walsh is West Ham Clips, look at this right here. Huh? She goes on the internet to tell you her internet's died. Now tell me, how does that work? How does that work?
The Cougar's got him under control.
He's trying to get back on. Okay, all right. What have I done? I've had him taken out.
Do you know what though, Lee? In all seriousness, mate,
Epstein didn't kill himself, and Tom's internet didn't go out.
That's a very true story, Lee. Even though it's a bit extreme, but like we'll move on to like West Ham. But
whoever killed Epstein, that's fine. You probably did the world a favor.
Yeah.
Anyway, I mean, seriously, who cares?
He did the rich and powerful a favor because they
were on his list. Yeah, they were on his list. Yeah, exactly. By the way, Tom, please come back if you can. Okay, Rebecca, please get him.
Tommy, come back.
Okay, so Gary, here's what I'm saying. Since we started about West Ham again, it just feels as though everybody knew that if we could make even 2 signings, a striker and say a center back or a left back, it could propel us into the second half of the season with a chance to be back in Europe, with a real shot, depending on the draw, at making a run in Europa League and maybe even at the FA Cup as well. Like, we could have had that team in place. Now what I think is you got Declan playing out the string because he's leaving in the summer. You got Bowen playing out the string because he's leaving in the summer. It wouldn't surprise me if David Moyes was disgruntled. I don't know, but it wouldn't surprise me. I feel as though this is just going to absolutely just break the whole thing.
So we're going to go one or two ways, Lee. So if you're going to galvanise the boys, you're going to look at it and say, "Fuck
That'd be
this, we
great.
ain't got no one. You ain't got no one. We're going to have to go with what we got and give it everything for Mark Noble's final season, or it's going to be a major collapse."
I'm worried about a collapse because I feel as though the signal that the board have sent, and if you want to say Moyes, then fine, say Moyes too, that's even worse, is we don't care. We don't care. Thanks for your effort. Thanks for getting us into, but we're not going to support you. We don't really care whether you win or not. We don't care whether you win or lose. This is a slap in the face to the fans, and it's a slap in the face to the players. It's a slap in the face to the players who have worked to get here, who, with a thin squad, have played through injuries like Craig Dawson, have rushed back from injury like Eric Cresswell and Kurt Zuma, have put in 90 minutes a match after match, like guys like Suchek and Declan Rice. Guys who've gone way above and beyond what they probably would have done in other clubs because we have a thin squad, and because we've been so competitive. They've put everything they've had into it, and this to me is it's the absolute back of the hand of David Sullivan, just slapping him in the face and saying, "Sorry, you get nothing."
I think
if I were in the situation, I would be done. I would walk. I really would.
For me personally, I was on a channel earlier on, and I'll be honest with you, I was deflated. I won't lie. I was like sitting there. I was like,
"That's how I felt all day." Yeah.
Nothing. This doesn't surprise me, Lee. It does hurt because I look at us and I think this is the best I'm ever going to see West Ham. I don't think West Ham can go any higher than where we are. I don't think we can.
Either.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when I look at us, I feel deflated, not disheartened. It's a bit of wrong choice of word, but I feel deflated. I feel sad because
I've got the feeling wheel here. Would you like me to give you some other words you can use?
Go on, Scott. Fire
Let's see. What we got? We have inferior, powerless, vulnerable.
Yep.
Victimized.
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
Yes.
Remorseful. Man, this thing is the best.
That thing is hitting me right in the nuts. That thing.
I've got revolted, detested,
detested.
Hesitant,
detested is the perfect word.
The feeling wheel never lies.
I want to start a fucking riot.
We were just talking about this. You know what's funny? I know, Wally. Except it's 4. Remember 2003. But what's funny to me, Scott, James, is you said it doesn't surprise you. Here's my problem. I started to believe. All right, I started to believe, and it did surprise me. I started to think we got this Czech guy in with his money.
Make sure you hit yourself on the head for even thinking that.
I know. Believe me, we've got a competent manager. We've got a billionaire who's invested in the club. I started thinking to myself, no, it really is a different West Ham. It really is different. We really are going to do it right this time. We really are going to invest in the squad in January, bring in players we need. When we didn't do it prior to Leeds and Manchester United, we lost those 2 games. I was disappointed, but I thought to myself, all right, we got a break here. And then we have, Kidderminster, and then we don't come back to the league until Watford. We've got some time. We buy some players. We get them integrated. We can do this. The fact that we didn't sign anybody, it did surprise me, and that's what hurts the most. I started to believe, and I should never have believed, ever. Never believed, James.
It's an hard one, Lee. I agree, mate. I've stopped believing for a long time. It's an hard one, Lee, because when I look at us, we're in our best moment. And we still can't attract players in our best moment. Now, West Ham can't attract players when they're 5th in the league, fighting for Europa League, FA Cup, and top 4. Then when can we attract players?
But did we even try really to attract them? Or I mean, that's what I don't know.
I think it's a bit of everything, mate. If I'm honest, you want me to be truthfully honest.
FC.
I think it's the owners making out they're doing business when they're not.
We tried FC.
I
do too. I think that's a lot of it. Yeah.
I think Moyes has been very, very stubborn in who he wants. Instead of going for people like Origi, who's sitting in Liverpool,
which would have been huge, absolutely huge.
Right, even one player can change the season.
Like Lingard last season. Yeah.
The collector car situation, you've just let a player go who deep down is going to benefit us.
His club needed the money.
Yeah.
You know, Marseille need all the French football. They're in a huge financial crisis right now.
And West Ham.
Maybe if you had fans in the seat.
I'll be honest with you, the way
Right.
West Ham act, they act
Well, they
like
also
a
had a
skint
TV
club.
collapse. Sorry, go ahead.
Like the way West Ham act, they act like a skint club. Like
I know.
they've got no money at all. They're literally a Derby County of the Premier League.
Yeah, we do. We act like we're panhandling. You know, we're asking for handouts on the street corner. It's embarrassing. I mean, it's
I'll
embarrassing.
do it if
for
I
us
have to.
I don't think it's going to help, but I mean, yeah, it's. I think it's more than anything else. It's embarrassing because we finally started to have some success. We finally started.
Because the way you got to look at this, Lee, right, is that West Ham haven't improved now, right? So basically, West Ham are going to go with the team that they've already got. We're currently played 2 games, lost 2 games. We're not in a really good run of form.
Right.
We know we've got Europe coming up. We know we've got FA Cup coming up.
Yeah.
And eventually, that's going to catch up with us because, like the Thursday, Sunday.
And Antonio's off here in North America playing qualifiers for a country that absolutely will not qualify for the World Cup, and he's going to be knackered if not injured when he comes back. Yeah.
And you're just teeing us up to fail, basically. And
of course, absolutely.
I think a lot of the fans tonight have. I think 90% of the fans will be looking at this and thinking we got to get these owners out. The other 10% will have an agenda. Every sort of fan channel, every sort of person who's with GSB, they will look here and go, GSB are people who support GSB have got an agenda to support GSB. They're not supporting GSB because what they're doing is right, and that's where it draws the line.
I think anybody who supports GSB is probably related to one of them at this point. I mean, I can't imagine that there are West Ham fans. I guess there are a few I see on Twitter, but I can't imagine there are West Ham fans who really support GSB. I mean, where does that support come from? What's it based on? You know?
Yeah.
I mean, listen. The only reason we are where we are, really, I think, is because they brought back David Moyes when we were about to be relegated, and they brought him back because he was cheap and he was available, and nobody else wanted him at the time. And they got lucky that he came in and he did a fantastic job. Now, whatever happened with the window today, how much was his fault, I don't know. But I'm saying up to this point, I don't think we can question how well he's done. He's done very well. But they brought him in because he was the cheap and available option, and he turned out to do great. And he made them look much, much better than they really are. Chris, how are you, my friend?
Been better.
It has been a wild and crazy night. We had a show. We had Tim come on and cut us off early on accident, and then we had to start over again. We have talked about everything from Emmanuel Macron's wife to the hole in my wall.
Yeah, I joined in.
JFK's assassination.
Lee, to be fair, you're the only one that's talked about Emmanuel Macron's wife.
Yeah,
I want to go on record. I did not mention her.
I think we all enjoyed that discussion. Tom's internet stopped working, which Rebecca was able to tell us via the internet. See, look at this. Our internet just died. I don't know. See, again, this is very suspicious to me. Anyway, their internet just died, and Rebecca got on the internet to tell us that she has no internet. So we've discussed how Charlie Walsh is definitely West Ham clips.
Yeah, I was watching on my way home. I've been watching for the past 20 minutes or so.
Good. Okay, so I know you have some things that you want to talk about, and we've just turned ourselves back to talking about West Ham for once. So go ahead, Chris. You have the floor.
Okay, so having listened, I want to bring up one thing that it might be that you guys haven't mentioned at all. I agree that the board is stuck with this window, but I gotta say Moyes cannot be exonerated completely.
I agree.
Well, most people agree with you, to be fair. I'm the only one really defending him.
I've listened to X's podcasts throughout this entire month. They were still working on a list of transfer targets 2 weeks ago. So I mean, I'm sorry. I know that Newman didn't come in until the first of the year, but at the same time, the fact that you don't have that, and then Moyes has I love Moyes obviously, but he has the audacity to come out and start complaining that about fatigue and players being injured or everything, and they don't do anything. with it. I'm sorry. I can't exclude Moyes from this.
But are you surprised though, Chris? Really deep down, as a West Ham fan,
No.
you've watched West Ham for a long time. Are you really surprised by this? Because I'm not.
No, not at all. I'm in
I
Lee's,
was.
I'm in
was-
Lee's
yeah, I
position as
was.
well. I was hopeful. I
Yeah.
thought we were going to make a couple signings. I really did. I even down to today. It really hasn't broke on, or no one's really talked about it on Twitter, but I have the updates and everything. They tried to start a deal for a Colombian forward from Atalanta at 7 p.m.
Who's that then?
But here's the thing, Chris.
I know
here's
you're
the
on
thing.
about.
But they know that's going to
I can't
fail.
remember his name.
They know that's going to fail, right? I mean,
Duvan Zapata.
Yes, Zapata.
They opened the deal or the negotiations at 7 p.m.
what's the point of doing that? What's the point of doing that?
Here's what's the funniest thing about this, though, too. They thought that the deal is going to get done. Like, they actually had they were relatively close, and then Atalanta just ghosted whoever was in charge of it, and by the time that they responded, it was too late.
The problem is,
go ahead, James.
Right, all the people involved, and I agree with Chris on this one, I really do. When I look at Moyes, I think Moyes has been very stubborn in the 31 days that he knows that there's a transfer window. Like, let's be honest, Lee, there's players that we should have had against Leeds, Manchester United. We had no Benny, we had players who wasn't good enough.
I agree. I'm with you.
To leave it to the last 48 hours, and let's be honest, over the last 5 days, we've been linked with £200 million worth of talent.
Minimum.
But
at
here's
least,
the thing.
yeah.
But linked doesn't mean anything. I mean,
but if you're putting in,
I can link myself with
Lee, it's like what I said earlier. It's like what I said earlier, mate. If you're selling your house for $500,000, and I'll come in with a bid for $200,000, you ain't going to accept the bid, are you?
Right. No.
Right. So
yeah,
West Ham can go and bid for these players with no. They're bidding for players that they know that they're not going to get.
But
it makes it look.
He might loan you the
house,
the base.
Airbnb. I could Airbnb.
Oh, that's Scott.
Yeah.
And then you could have you could have an option to buy.
You know Lee too well, Scott.
Night, boys.
I mean, what I always go back to is, I mean, all the links. Do we? Oh, who'd we lose? Who'd we lose? Scott?
He said he put in the private chat that he had to put.
Oh, he did. Oh, I never see the private chat. Well, anyway, thank you, Scott, for being on. It's great to have Scott on. Sorry he had to go. Good dude. Anyway, all these links. I mean, it doesn't mean. Again, it just doesn't mean anything. It's all just hype. It's all just talk. If we're linked with player XYZ, you know as well as I do that if you call Atalanta at 7 p.m. on deadline day, you can't get that deal done. You can't get a medical done. You can't get a contract signed. That's nuts.
Do you know what? Do you know what done it for me, Lee? Was last night.
I'm sure you're right. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, what's the point? What's the point? It's like me trying to get tickets to the Stanley Cup final. An hour before the game. Or walking up to the TD Garden. I had a friend who paid $7,000 to watch the Bruins lose Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final a few years ago. Game 7, and he invited me to go, and I said, "Are you paying?" He said, "No, you have to pay a ticket." And I was like, "Well, no, you don't." So I mean, but it's like me walking up to the TD Garden box office at 6:55 p.m. and said, "I'd like a ticket to Game 7, please. Here's my $85." It's stupid. It's not realistic.
Well, the thing is, though, Lee, it's like I knew it yesterday. If I'm being honest, right, I knew yesterday when West Ham were going in for Nunes at Benfica, man's halfway around the world. I knew full well what they was doing.
No, it's not possible. Anyway, go ahead.
Here's even the more confusing bit about our transfer policies and transfer business, everything. The fact that we weren't willing to pay 15 to 20 million for
Kletekar.
Yeah, Kletekar. I couldn't remember the first part of his last name for a second there.
Yeah.
Because he's not Premier League proven, and so we want a loan. But we're going to pay 50 million for a 22-year-old from the Portuguese league who's in Uruguay.
Right. Well, again,
and then Carvalho from Fulham. That it actually might have went down. We were interested in him. He was available apparently for 10 million euro.
Which is chump change, which is nothing. But I mean, as much as I have a hard time believing that David Moyes. He may have waited 2 weeks to make a list, okay, and that's not acceptable. But let me just say this: I don't think he waited 31 or 30 and 1/2 days. Do you know what I mean? I don't think the board backed him when he came out with that list. What they're sitting there on deadline day calling Atalanta, calling about a guy who's in Uruguay. That's not doing anything. That's just creating.
Well, it
That's just
is
creating talking points. You know what I mean?
in a way, though, Lee. It
Meaningless.
is doing
It's
something.
meaningless.
It's doing something that's meaningless, as you just said there. But you are what it
All
is.
that serves is to say, like, oh well, we tried, but you didn't
Yeah.
really try.
No.
You didn't really try. If I walk out tomorrow and I say I think I'm going to try out for a Premier League, I think I'm going to fly to London tomorrow and I'm gonna try out to play for for West Ham. I'm 48 years old. I'm overweight. My point is, like, it's the same idea. Now, if I wanted to get myself into shape and say I'm going to go play in the Over the Hill League in Boston, well, that may happen, But it's like it would be like me flying to London and saying I'd like to be in the West Ham squad, please. Here I am. I'm 48, kind of fat, have asthma.
Well, to be fair, it seems like Aubameyang kind of did that with Barcelona. So
That's kind of
Nothing worse than a fat guy with asthma.
It's tough. Let me tell you, it's not great.
If you don't mind me jumping in here too, really quickly, listening to you guys talking as I was on my way home about Lingard, I honestly take away if I want him or not. I would have loved him. First of all, massive disrespect for Manchester United, in the sense that he's given his life to the club. He's been told he can leave, and then he says, "Oh, I want to go to West Ham." No, you're not allowed. You're not going anywhere.
Because we're a top 4 rival.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So first of all, massive disrespect. Second of all, with that, I mean, you can knock off Manchester United as the potential landing place.
Declan's not going to Manchester United.
Yeah.
No, sir. No way.
But
Not
the
there.
bigger issue
Unless they want to pay £300 million.
But
Right.
the bigger issue is that I don't I think Lingard might hold off immediately coming to West Ham, because if we were to sell off Rice and Bowen, like it seems like we are, why the hell would Lingard come here? So
That's a
we're
really
even
good
more
point,
screwed. He's not a replacement for Bowen.
It's not the same club. It's not the
Yeah.
same club. When Rice and
He's
Bowen are
with his
gone, and I think
friends.
they will be, it's not the same club. And Chris, it's one thing I said that nobody thinks is true, but I think it might be true. I still think David Moyes might walk at the end of the season because the board didn't support him the way he wanted them to, or thought they would. He
I mean,
kept
it's
saying
a
we have
possibility, but I don't
money.
see it.
He could find another job these days. He's done a good enough job at West Ham. He's got the credibility. But whether that happens or not,
Yeah, I agree.
whether that happens or not, you lose Bowen and Rice, and that's the spine of the team. That's the young English spine of the team.
But the problem
Obviously,
is, though,
Lingard
with
would
that,
come here after
Lee,
that.
yeah, but the problem is with that is that when I look at Moyes is accountable for this also. He really is.
I mean, he is, but here's the thing: he could always, if he goes off, and he talks about managing another club. How hard is it for him to say to his prospective employer, "Hey, they didn't support me. You've seen these guys. You've seen them in the trade. You've seen how they do business. They didn't support me." If he came into my office right now and told me that, I'd believe every word he said. So even though
he's not really lying, is he? Like when you really go into the sort of the transfer dealings at West Ham United Football Club, West Ham have only signed really 2 players.
I love Peach. No. I mean, he's not lying, and I again, I think I wish he'd had a. We just don't know. Moyes has done. He's been so good for us that I have to believe he wanted this window to go differently. That's all I'm saying. All these Hail Marys.
Are you saying that though, Lee? Are you hoping that?
Well, both. Of course, I hope it.
Yeah.
I mean, but the man is. I know he dithers. But he's a football manager. He's a professional. He's been around. He's not a kid, and he's not some old, senile old dude like Pellegrini who doesn't care anymore.
One thing he does do, though, Lee, and I will say this, and I've spoke to Charlie Walsh about this. He differs with strikers, mate. He differs with strikers.
I know he does,
a lot.
and that's the problem. And he always
That's
has.
the West Ham way, though, too. So, I mean,
Yeah.
And that's a huge problem. And I give him listen. I will criticize Moyes. He's bad with substitutions. He sticks with players like Yarmolenko and Masuaku. He should not stick with in terms of
Which is on him, yeah.
That's on him. He doesn't substitute enough players. He puts the wrong players in. He sometimes gets his starting. I mean, he does make mistakes. All right, he's not Alex Ferguson. He's not Pep Guardiola. You know, he does make mistakes.
If you was to give a percentage, though, Lee, on the blame of Moyes, how much would you give him out of 100%?
On the transfer window,
Yeah.
I give him 10%. Seriously.
See, I look at it that it's more sort of 25, 30% him.
I was
That's
going to say
one-
30 to 40.
It's a lot
Yeah.
of conjecture.
Yeah,
on
I
my
think
part.
it's 60-40.
There's
Yeah.
a lot of conjecture on my part, though, to be fair, because I think there's a lot of stuff that happened behind the scenes that we don't know about.
Yeah.
Because
What would you say it is, Chris? What'd you say? I didn't hear you.
I'd say 30 to 40, somewhere in there.
yeah, I agree with Chris on that. 100%.
And like I said, I mean, you can't, like, yes, the board might have been awful this window, and they usually are. But, I mean, even if they wanted to bring in players, they only had 2 weeks to do it because the list wasn't finalized until halfway through the month.
I know.
Yeah, but what does me, though, is
clubs
that
can
what
do
has he
that,
been
though.
doing? What have they been doing in December and November? And it comes to January and they haven't sorted their list out.
I mean,
players that want.
we wanted Coletta Carr in the summer. We were interested in him in the summer. The only reason he didn't come was because Marseille was in Champions League.
Now, what it was with
Yeah.
it was that, but it also was that he had just had a kid. What it was, he had a kid.
Yeah.
If you go back, I said this earlier on my channel. Go back to the summer. It was in a global pandemic. COVID was rife all throughout Europe, and basically he didn't want to up sticks, move his young family to England, and basically with that sort of possibility of catching COVID, his missus was either just had a kid or she was going to have a child. She was either going to drop within the first, couple of weeks. So I understand that, but if you know that you're going after a Coletta Carr and you know that's the man that you want, you just pay the fucking money. If I'm being honest, you just pay the money, get the man, done.
Yeah, I'm so sick and tired of loan to buy deals.
Well, that's the other thing, and that's the other reason I don't put as much blame on Moyes. He said in November, December, yes, we have the money. The board are going to back me with money. They might, as I said earlier, they might have told him that and then not done it because they lie all the time. And we know, we talked about when with the Vlasic transfer, how they said, oh yeah, we're going to buy Vlasic, and then Sullivan comes out at the last minute and says, actually, could we get a loan on that? And
Yeah.
we ended up buying him, but it was over Sullivan trying to bargain it into a loan. The Sullivan is shameless, and all these bids in these last 2 days, they've meant nothing. We were never going to get Calvin Phillips. We were never going to get.
That was more appeasement to Rice and Bowen, I think.
Right, but these were not realistic bids. All right, these were Hail Mary passes. Sorry to use.
Well, apparently Rafinha was actually interested, but Leeds.
Well, he might have been, but you can't. I mean, Nunez, the Carvalho, all these. These were Hail Marys. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
I don't have a good.
It was like the old
American football expression.
The old saying was it was a hit and hope.
Right,
Like,
it was hit and
it
hope.
was-
These were half court shots. You know what I mean? If you want to talk about basketball, it was just like we're going to chuck it up there and see what lands.
I think even more than a half court shot. It was
It's
buzzer beater from
a
the
buzzer
opposition.
beater from 94 feet away. Exactly, it's a buzzer beater from the other baseline.
The problem is, Lee. The problem is, as fans, right? Either in the UK or the US of A, right? We expect more than what we're getting.
This is
West
true.
Ham are 5th in the league. They should be progressing as a club. There
Right.
should be a bit of ambition there to say, you know what, we've got no striker at this club, right? And the thing that damns me more than anything, I said it on my channel earlier, and I sort of made a bit of a statement on this, is that why is there no striker coming to this club? Why is there no players that? This is West Ham at their best moment in their lifetime.
And one thing I'll say about Moyes, James, if Moyes has one massive downfall, in my view, it's the ability or the unwillingness to sign a striker. I agree.
It is. Yeah. Like, there's no excuses after a year.
Massive flaw, which could be the whole thing. Yeah.
I have a bit of a theory with that too. With Moyes, obviously, he's like one of those managers who he's very loyal to a player. So he loves Antonio. He's always going to put him up front. Antonio is just signed a new contract, so all us fans are wanting to bring in a replacement for Antonio. Meanwhile, the only strikers that Moyes would be wanting to bring in are backups to Antonio, more than likely. So
Yeah,
I think that's a bit more of it too. He's trying to find the underling of Antonio instead of a replacement.
Yeah,
I think that's a good point.
Even that though, Chris, like you're looking at West Ham in 3 competitions, just at present.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Yeah, but
even
that's a valid point, Chris. I mean, we need to bring in somebody to compete with Antonio, and I love Antonio.
Not just compete, replace. I think.
Well, yes, because he's how old is he? 30, 31, something like that.
But you know what does it though, Lee?
Glass hamstring.
Yes,
we need to replace him at some point. We do.
There's no guarantee that West Ham are going to sign a striker in the summer.
No,
Like,
that's what somebody said this up above. Same thing.
Yeah,
there is no guarantee. No,
like, no one can sit here on February the 1st over in the UK and say that West Ham in the summer will sign a definite striker that's like a Jonathan David or etc. Just because the way they carry on, it just doesn't happen. It just they don't look like they're. To me, do you know what it looks like? And I said this earlier on my channel. I turned around and said that it looks like it's acid stripping at its finest.
Yeah.
Like it's what they're doing. They're stripping the players slowly.
Yeah.
They know Declan Rice and Bowen are the value money. People think Bowen will go. I disagree. I think Bowen stays.
I
think it's one or the other. I think it's one or the other between him and Rice.
Yeah,
I think Rice. I think Declan was probably gone anyway. Let's be honest. I'm sorry.
I think if you have asked me this 24 hours ago, Lee, I would say I don't think Declan will go until next season. You ask me now, Declan is gone in summer. I honestly do. I think what they're doing. This is what I believe. This is what I believe they're going to do. They're going to sell Declan Rice for a lot of money, 130, 140 million. That's what I believe was going to come. And they're going to use that money to rebuild the squad. Because you've got a lot of players in that team. Some of these players don't even belong to us.
I know.
Crowell, Areola.
And here's the thing. If
you actually think we're going to invest, though?
I think, Chris, if I'm being honest, mate, I don't think they've got no choice. What you got to understand is if they sell Rice and they use the money to invest into the team, then they're not investing no money themselves. Do you see what I'm getting at?
Like, no, I see what you're getting at, but I mean, it's notorious. I mean, look, for example, I mean, we got decent money for Allaire. 3 windows later, we still haven't replaced him. We haven't rebuilt. We haven't reinvested that money.
You don't think GSB would take like 90, 100 million of the 140 million fee that we were to get for him?
No, because I think what it is, Luke, is when
you'd be lucky to get 50 out of it.
If you go through West Ham's team and you sat there and go, Darren Randolph, oh good, he's going to be gone. Martin's going to be gone. Obona's going to be injured, but he's going to be 35. Is he going to be fit?
Unfortunately, going to be gone.
Noble's going to be gone. Krell is not even our player. He's going to be gone. When you if you really go into it and sat there and listen, I would say it to you boys, go and sit there, go through the whole West Ham team and tick them off who you think will be there. You'll be very surprised how many players would actually still be there. Fredericks, will he still be there? I don't think he will be. Issa Diop, if a bid comes in for him, I think Issa goes because I don't think he's good enough. And I've tried to back Issa.
He'll go.
So
I've tried to back him too, but he'll go. Yeah.
But if you really look into it, West Ham need about £150 million spending. And Declan Rice is the man who's going to fund that, basically.
If we do it right, it could actually work. Believe it or not, it could actually work if we do it right. I mean, but the problem is
I don't trust the board to get it right.
I don't either, Chris. I would see that's the thing is if we're going to sell him, I'd rather sell him after the board sell the club.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And have somebody else, and then it might be time to say, okay.
The problem is though, Lee, with the whole situation, is that if clubs know that West Ham have got money, they will bump their prices up.
Of course. Well,
that's the problem.
I know that works both ways though. If we have money, we can pay the prices. You know, I mean, so. You know, I get what you're saying, but at the same time, it's sort of.
But if you know, it's like anything. If you just sold an £140 million player and we're going in for a player who's, let's just say, 30 million, they're going to want 30.
It's going to be 40, right? It's going to be 35.
It's going to be 40 or 35, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? So
It is. Yeah, I mean, Declan Rice. Listen. Here's what I think is going to happen with him. First of all, I do think he loves West Ham. I do. I believe that. However, I think he realizes, not just because of today, I think he realizes West Ham are not a club that will ever compete to win Champions League. I'm talking about winning Champions League, not qualifying, but actually getting into the quarterfinal, semifinal. We're not near that level. Let's be honest. We're not probably ever going to be near that level.
Yeah, I agree.
Right?
At least
We're
not
never-
under this board.
Not under this board, not unless we get a Newcastle style owner or whatever. And he could move right now to a club that could compete to win Champions League, the way his buddy Mason Mount did. And I think that's what he's going to do. And when he does, more power to him, and God bless him. And I wish him the best, because I can't blame him for that. You know what I mean? It's not just about qualifying. It's about, can I go to a Real Madrid? Can I go to a Chelsea? Can I go to a Liverpool? Can I go to I don't know, Bayern? You know what I mean? Big clubs. Yes, he does have that kind of ability, I think, and I think that's where he'll go, is one of those.
I think it'll also still depend on where we end up finishing. If we like right now, if we were to look into Champions League qualification, I think we hold on to him one more season. I really do.
I think that's probably true. I think that's probably true. I don't think it's going to happen, but I think that's probably true.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if we somehow win Europa League, I mean, that's.
Well,
I think. Do you know what I honestly think, lads? I think West Ham go all out for the Europa League. If you want me to be honest, there's no, because I think West Ham have not got the firepower to compete in the Prem. I think the Premier League. I think the Premier League will disappear.
I think we finish mid-table in the Prem, and you know
what?
I
agree.
Listen, to be fair, go back 2 seasons, and we'd have taken mid-table in the Prem. All right. I mean, let's not forget about that. Let's just throw that out there. But I'm with you.
And I think they will go out for the Europa League, because they look at, if you look at it in
which
sort
is
of
risky.
logic
Which
terms,
is risky. It's because we could run into
it's a
Barcelona.
free hit only, isn't it? Because West Ham's not really supposed to be there.
Exactly.
Well, we could run into Barcelona, but let's be honest. Like, I don't want to downplay them too much, but they're not the Barcelona of old.
No, they're not. But there are other big clubs out there in Europa League left over. We could, like Juventus, I think are there, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right? Napoli, maybe it's Napoli.
It's Napoli.
It's Napoli, yeah.
Napoli. Big Milan and Napoli, I think, are both still in it, if I'm not mistaken. Big. There are big clubs out there. It's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Bigger than West Ham.
Because if you look at West Ham are 4 games away from Champions League. If you look at West Ham at present, they're 15, 16 games away from Champions League. What would you rather put your? Would you rather go?
Valid point. And if we get it, listen. I mean, depending on who we draw and how it works out, it could be.
When is the draw?
The draw is in March.
I think it's in March.
Because the first game is like the end of February, I think it is, because they've already been predetermined, I think. West Ham are in the last 16 because we finished top. So
the draw might be February, and but I don't think the competition restarts until March.
The problem is with the Europa League, we know we're going to get someone decent. It's going to be a matter of time. It might not be the first game, but we're going to get a Napoli or Borussia Dortmund, or someone of that ilk. So we know we've got to deal with these sort of players and teams. So it
is for the round of 16. It's the 25th of February.
Okay.
Yeah. And then first matches to be played March 10th and March 17th, and then draw is March 18th.
So is that the draw for the last 16 then? Is that
that's February 25th.
Oh, because I forgot there's that whole other round they have to go through before.
So basically, then we're not going to play till probably the end of March, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wait, we're in the are we in the quarterfinals already then?
We're in the last 16.
We're in the last 16.
Round of 16. Okay, yeah. So the draw for the round of 16 is February 25th. First leg March 10th. Second leg March 17th.
Right.
That seems like an age away, doesn't it? March 7th, St. Patrick's
It does, though, Lee.
We're already through January.
Lee, it's 6 weeks, though, mate.
I know, it's not that far. It's my father-in-law's birthday, March 17th. Yeah, he's born on St. Patrick's Day. But yeah, it seems. But yeah, I think you're right. I think we're going to go all out for that. I do. And who knows? I mean, listen, maybe we get a favorable. We've already had one favorable draw in the FA Cup. We hope with Kidderminster, right?
Mm.
Maybe we get lucky again. I mean, who knows? You know.
I think. Do you know what? What they've got to do, in sort of being trying to put a positive spin on it, I think they've just got to play for Mark Noble now. They've just got to look at him and play like, look at Mark Noble and think, right, it's his final season. He ain't going to be here next year. And they've just got to put all their eggs in one basket and go for whatever they can. I do believe. I think the league is. I think the top four is completely gone now. I think if West Ham finish,
I do too.
I think if West Ham
Unless
finish in
you
the top
luck
10,
into it, I mean, it's going to be by pure luck.
yeah,
I mean,
we would have.
yeah, I mean, you could have an injury crisis at Arsenal or Manchester United, or you know what I mean. One of these clubs around us, Tottenham could have Harry Kane could break his leg. I mean, you know what I mean. I don't know, but it's going to take something like that. Yeah,
Bit extremely, but I won't lie to you. But yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, something major that knocks everybody else out of contention.
I think what it is with Moyes, he will sit there and he'll think, right, what can I realistically do? I'm in the Europa League. We're going to have to deal with a good team, at least two or three good teams.
This is so. You said we play on the 10th and the 17th of March.
Yep.
We've got them on the 20th.
We go to away to Tottenham on the 20th. That's not good at all. Okay.
That could be an interesting one, just in terms of table decision or positioning.
Well, right, because I mean, if we are trying to hang around the top 6, they'll be one of our rivals, and we're going to have to play them right after your Europa League.
We have to play Villa right before that too, or in between that too, March 13th.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Well, you always got to play somebody, but Tottenham is the one that that's worrisome. And then again,
it'd be interesting to see what Moyes comes out with.
Yeah, I don't want to stick a knife in us and say we're going to end up finishing 15th, but this no signings this window has thrown everything into chaos.
I think we'll finish mid-table. Frankly,
yeah.
I mean, I don't see us finishing. If you look at the table, we have.
I think we finish in the top 10, Lee.
I
think top 10, but that is mid-table. 10th is exactly in the middle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think we finished somewhere between 8th and 10th. That's a very specific range, but
when you look at it now, it's February the 1st year, right? We're 5th in the league, and we are saying that
but we got a lot. We've played a lot more games than anybody else. That's part of it. Tottenham have 3 games in hand on us, I think, something like that.
I think. Do you know what? The only thing I can say as a positive, as long as Moyes decides to start playing some youth players like Okoflex, instead of putting Yarmolenko on, I want to start seeing Okoflex on the pitch.
Why not?
I mean,
Yarmolenko's dead wood. He's useless.
Get
that's got to be an option now.
Get Langello out there as well. I'm with you. Yeah,
I'm with you. I
I
think if out of the season now, if for argument's sake, Okoflex is bedded into this team, or a striker like Neves or Perkins or whatever comes into this team, and we can see a bit of progression with them, then it ain't as bad a season as it looks. I think if he just goes with the 11, Yarmolenko, Mezawaka as your subs, then to me that's just it's an insult.
I feel the same way. I feel the same way. Now this. Here we go. So we're going to Liverpool on March 5th away. Then 5 days later, you have a Europa League match. A week later, another Europa League match. 2 days after that. And in between that, okay, so Liverpool, somebody from Europa League, Villa, Europa League, Tottenham. That's a stretch right there. That's a really rough March right there.
4 games in 12 or in 15.
That's when today is going to come back and bite us. Yeah. That's when we're going to hurt. I mean, maybe we end up drawing. I don't know, the Moldovans or something, and maybe.
Yeah, and then who knows where the FA Cup if we win against Kidderminster.
I think what it is if we beat Kidderminster, if we win one more game, then one of our games gets moved to a Sunday.
Yeah,
I'm not sure how it works, but obviously
we love that. There are a lot of our games have moved to Sunday.
Do you know what, Lee? I'll say this to you, because I know you want to move on. But if we lose against Kidderminster, and it would not surprise me.
It wouldn't surprise me either.
Nothing would surprise me, especially with the window, what we've just had. The fan base are going to be like that at the minute for a few days.
Yep.
I feel that the Kidderminster game, we've just got to go there and just, even if we win down 1-0, All right, let's go.
Oh, here you go.
It's massive to get a victory, and I know it's only
It is.
Kidderminster. I know, but it's gigantic right now to get a result. And then Watford, like 2 days later, and they've got a new manager. They got Woy. They hired Woy
And-
as their manager.
Our next 4 games, I think, are Kidderminster, Watford, Leicester, and Newcastle.
I mean,
That's our next.
we need points. We need points.
Kidderminster, home to Watford, away to Leicester, home to Newcastle.
Yeah.
Man, we need like.
Here you go. By
that
the way,
should not be fewer than 7 points. That's
the
gotta be
March
7 points.
stretch is tough. Liverpool, Aston Villa, Tottenham.
Yeah, with the Europa League in between those. Through those
The rest of the way isn't bad, but I mean, still, like.
But that's Newcastle, Watford, Newcastle. Who'd you say? Leicester.
So we have Watford, Leicester,
Newcastle.
Wolverhampton in February.
Wolves will be tough, but Watford, Leicester, Newcastle. That's come on. We've got to get 7 points out of that minimum, don't we? Really?
Yes.
I mean, come on, Watford and Newcastle. No, Watford have a new manager. Newcastle have a bunch of new players. I mean, it's not
Newcastle. Newcastle will be tough because we don't ever beat Newcastle.
We don't play them very well. No, I know we don't.
Yeah.
Leicester, you don't know what you're going to get.
Hey, we are home though. We never beat them at St. James's Park ever. Well,
we did beat them this year.
Except we did this season, yeah. But that was, I mean, but their start to the season was,
But I agree with you. We need to sign some players.
Really quickly, with regards to the fixture load in March, if we were to make it this far, according to the FA Cup, the FA's webpage, the quarterfinal is Saturday, March 19th.
Get out of here! Come on. So we'd have the game on the 20th.
So what? You've just done me there, Chris. I'm doing something on the 19th. I can't remember what it is. March 19th.
So if we made that, so it would be like what? Liverpool, Europa League, Villa, Europa League.
And that's just granted we get into the quarterfinals,
right?
But
FA Cup quarterfinal, and then Tottenham would have to push.
Yeah, they would move the Tottenham match.
They'd have to move that later, but I don't know when. But yeah, well, I'll tell you what, it'd be fun. You can't deny that it'd be fun.
Well, let me ask you this, Lee. Right? What would be an acceptable season for you now? Now you know there's no players coming in. What would be acceptable?
My expectations have changed radically.
Yeah.
I don't want to use the word acceptable, but I'm gonna. But because I don't think what we did today was acceptable at all. I would say I'll tell you what I expect. I expect to finish right around mid-table, literally right around 10th. I think Europa League, I just don't know. It just depends on the draw, but I think we can win another round there potentially.
Yeah, I agree.
I think getting beyond that'll be difficult. And I think again with the FA Cup, it's all about the draw. But I think a quarterfinal is not beyond the realm of possibility.
If you want me to be honest, I agree with everything you just said there. I think the FA Cup is more of a chance of winning something. If you said to me right now, what chance have we got of winning St. James?
It's the FA Cup.
League. It's the FA Cup.
It's the FA Cup.
If you look at the league, I've said this before on my channel. I feel the other teams will come strong. Tottenham have already strengthened. Man United have got strength and depth. Yep. Arsenal, they've lost a banging hang. I'll give them that. But it's, for me, if West Ham are going to finish in the top 6, it's all on Arsenal. If Arsenal collapse, then West Ham can get there. But I don't think West Ham can. Not now.
I don't think. My fear is Antonio comes back knackered. And why is he still playing for Jamaica? Jamaica, you're not going to qualify. Okay, you're not going to get there. All right, you're not. You really
West Ham needs to step in. West Ham needs to step in.
Right, at this point, mathematically, you just really are not going to do it. Okay, I'm sorry. I'd love to see you in the World Cup. Nothing whatsoever against the wonderful people of Jamaica, but you're not making it. Okay, you're way behind. Anyway, so please don't play Antonio anymore. All right. But I think Antonio is going to come back and be knackered and possibly injured, and I see us slipping down. And plus, all these games we've played and not won, like Brighton and Burnley and some of the others we should have won, Leeds at home. they're going to catch up with us when Tottenham and Arsenal, they go out and they beat, the Palaces and Southamptons and so forth that they're scheduled against. So
I agree.
Personally, I have no idea exactly where we're going to end up finishing. I'm in complete confusion. I could see us anywhere from 4th to 9th.
Do you think, though?
Night, sadly.
Yeah, but do you really honestly feel, though, Chris, that we can finish 4th now? Realistically,
Like I said, we can look into it. I mean, anything is possible with it. It's West Ham. I mean, we could lose.
Yeah.
For all I know, we could lose every single goddamn match the rest of the way. I have no idea with this club.
Yeah, we could. We could. That's what's crazy is we could still have a relegation battle. Probably not, but
what it is,
For
people
me-
will say, people will turn around and say, you know what, we can get 4th, and they are right. But realistically, you can't get 4th with only one striker at your club.
I think it all will depend on not necessarily just March, but I think it'll just be determined on how we get out of this gate after the international break. If we can come out and start strong, that's going to give me a little bit more confidence. If we falter at all, we're screwed.
Yeah, I agree.
I think a lot of it, we need a lot of luck. We need Antonio to start turning up again.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
but
agree.
we're almost never lucky. Lucas, what were you saying? Where do you think we're going to finish, Lucas?
I'll go with my expectations or what I'd like to see first. Really, as long as we dedicate ourselves to one of the competitions, I think I'll be happy about it. I mean, it would be cool to see us get to like the semifinal or quarterfinal of Europa League, but again, that's really all luck. The FA Cup.
Yeah.
I mean, still to this day, if you ask me, would I rather like win the league, win Europa League, win an FA Cup? I want to win an FA Cup.
Yeah.
I think FA Cup is more realistic than the Europa League, then, Lucas.
I do as well. And honestly, I would be happy if we finished anything better than 10th and we make it to a semifinal of either the FA Cup or Europa League.
Where do you think we were finishing the league then? 10th?
I'll go 9th. I think Aston Villa are going to make a really good push for mid-table. And I think Leicester or Wolves are going to fuck up and slip.
You got to watch out for like the Leicester, the Brightons that are sitting behind us. That they get a run of results.
But I'm not really worried about Brighton because they literally do not like to win. They have a illness of winning.
That's true. All they do is draw. Yeah, that's true.
They draw and they always come back from 1-0. That's just the MO.
I mean, I kind of feel
it's all in the FA Cup for me.
All right, so I think we should probably let's wrap up. So let's do the next 2 games coming up. Kindergarten Harriers, as Costa called them, and then Watford. They're kind of back to back within a couple of days of each other. Lucas, give me your picks for Kidderminster. I don't want to disrespect them. I'm sure they're great people. Kidderminster and Watford.
Me personally, everyone wants to see the kids rolled out. Me personally, I would do the same thing that we who is it against? It wasn't. I'm not talking like Mark Noble and then all the kids, but I would like to see like Yarmolenko, Noble, Fredericks. I would like to see like 4 or 5 senior players personally, and then the rest youth, because you already know they are going to be up for it. It's a noon kickoff.
Bloody early kickoff for you, lads. I know that's it.
It's
7
7.
Listen, the fix
7 a.m. here in the East Coast. Okay.
The fix is already trying to develop with the noon kickoff against,
of course,
Kidderminster, and
yeah, of course.
I think
screwed up by giving us an easy draw. That's what happened. Now they're going to try to get us.
I think if we play 80% of the kids, I think that'd be a ginormously terrible idea.
But you
I
know what's weird, Lucas? There's part of me, and this is I don't know where this comes from. This is stupid. We'd never do this. We shouldn't do this. There's part of me that wants to put out the full strength starting 11 and just throttle them. You know what I mean?
Mm.
I'm
Because
not.
it's not
I'm not totally against that for the simple reason that I almost want to use this as a kind of like a preseason match where everyone's coming off of international break. Everyone's had some rest.
I'll
Let's get back.
give you a quick 11 real quick that I can do at the top of my head for sure. Areola in goal, Fredericks at right back. I would not mind actually no, we would need Dawson or Diop and Elise, and then left back
I don't know.
Masuaku.
I think Elise might play Lucas.
No, yeah, I said either Dawson or Diop and Elise.
Oh right, so yeah.
And then Masuaku at left back or Ben Johnson. I really could care less.
Tell you
And
what, mate.
then-
If we play Masuaku at left back, mate, we're asking for trouble again.
And then I mean the formation I really don't know, but Yarmolenko, I wouldn't mind seeing him. Sonny Perkins up top should probably play.
I think someone like Ekatite or someone like that in the middle, like even Forson. Yeah, listen, if these players are as good as we all think they are, they can't beat Kidderminster Harriers.
Out of 11, I would like to see four, maybe 5 youth players, and then I would like to see the likes of Yarmolenko, Areola, Fredericks,
Flastage,
Crow. I wouldn't mind it.
I agree.
I can never take. You can never take the FA Cup lightly. I mean,
No.
especially seeing who we've lost to in the past 6 years.
remember last season against help me Dawson's Stockport. That was want to say Stevenage, but that's different. Stockport County. Yeah,
But
I mean,
that's what I'd like to see. And then on Tuesday,
We made that hard work that night against Stockport.
oh, that was a brutal night.
And then
That was so
Tuesday against Watford, Antonio hopefully should have a week's rest.
Yeah.
And we should be playing a full strength team because it's a must win.
It's not only that too. Watford are on their 100th manager in like the last 3 months.
Yeah, are they going to get the new manager bump though, or does Roy Hodgson not give you the new manager bump?
Yeah, I think they get a new manager bounce, but it's an hard one with the Watford game. It really is, Lee. I'm honest. If West Ham come out and perform, West Ham roll them comfortable. If Watford come out and they nick a goal early, then the fan base is just going to go.
Which they did last time.
Yeah, it'd be a completely different scenario.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what do you think is going to happen, James, in these 2 games?
I think we roll Kidderminster. I'll keep it quick, pretty short with you. I think we do them 2 or 3-0. I think we score early, and then it'll be like a training session. If we don't beat Kidderminster, the fan base will turn.
Wait! What is this? What? Are we sure about this? I haven't heard.
No boys out for the rest of the season. I haven't heard that.
No.
All right, we'll take this under advisement, but I don't take this the wrong way, Hammerhead. But I'm not going to believe this until I see it from a
Yeah.
more reliable source. Anyway, keep going.
I think we roll Kidderminster. I think we're doing pretty 2 or 3-0, which will be a standard performance. I think it'll be a professional performance. I think a lot of the sort of borderline first teamers will play in this game to give them confidence. The Watford game's an interesting one, if I'm honest. Going on to the Watford one, I feel that if Watford turn up, Roy Hodgson will get them well organised and well marshalled, and I don't think it's going to be as easy as people think.
No, I don't think it's going to be easy at all. It won't be easy at all. No.
Yeah. Out of curiosity, I looked up Watford's scores right after Ranieri was appointed October 4th, which I didn't even think I thought he lasted like 3 weeks. I didn't think he lasted almost 4 months.
Yeah.
He actually, so their first match under him came against Liverpool, where they were bounced 5-0. And then the immediate next game they played at Everton and trounced
1-5-2, isn't it?
Yeah, 5-2. So that's a toss up whether Watford is historically getting the.
Well,
new
they've had so
problem is-
many managers that they may not get new manager bounces anymore because they
The
just.
problem is with Watford, they're a counter-attacking unit. That's how
Yeah.
they play.
So are
and,
we, and that's the problem. Yeah,
and that is a problem. Yeah, because
we
what
don't
it is,
do well against those clubs. Yeah,
if Watford sit back, then it's ideal for Watford. Watford will sit back, let us come forward, and then they'll hit us on the break. I do believe we'll beat Watford, Lee. I'm pretty adamant on this. I
we
think
should, and if we don't, it's a real sign of a crisis at the club. In my
I think if we don't beat Watford, then it proves a lot of
To
people's
be fair as well,
Yeah,
Watford has not made any signings either. Their last win,
valid point.
their last win was November 20th.
Oh, don't give me stats like that, Chris. You know that only makes me nervous.
They've had 1 point in a draw against Newcastle on the 15th since their last win.
I thought they hired Roy Hodgson. Did I just make that up? Declan? I thought didn't they hired Roy, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. Okay, Roy. Well, Chris, what do you think is going to happen in these two?
I don't want to be too confident about Kiddermeister, but I do think we'll win. I think we'll win fairly comfortably. Watford, I have to say, I think we're going to win. Just looking at that, I mean, their last match before the international break, they lost to Norwich 3-0.
Yeah.
Historically,
they had a red
Watford,
card. Oh, never mind. That red card came in the 78th minute. So they're not a strong team. No new signings, but a break. I mean, it could go anyway, but I think we'll win that.
I have to believe. Of course, I thought we would beat Leeds, and we completely collapsed in that game. I think we probably legitimately drew with Manchester United, but let's not rehash that. If we don't beat Kidderminster, it'll be a real sign that we're in crisis and that the players are in crisis. And I don't think that's where we are. I think we're going to win that game. I think it'll be difficult. It'll be tight. I do. I really do. But I think so
I'm laughing at Hammerhead's comment. I love how he says Norwich.
Oh, well, yeah, I know.
That's the American in me.
It's the American. No, I understand. I get it. I get it. Norwich. I think is it Norwich? Well, I'm always saying it wrong anyway. We put in a bid for Roy of the Rovers. That's an old school reference right there. Yeah, I think it's going to be like a 2-0. And I'll bet you both goals come in the second half against Kidderminster. I'll bet they come out. They are just fine. But ultimately, we should, even playing young players, as Lucas said, I think we should have better talent.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Actually, Mark R is right. I misread that. The article that I saw, it said that they didn't bring any new players in on deadline day. I didn't see that.
That they brought in a bunch of players.
Wow. Okay.
The thing is, if
when even Watford's bringing in players and we're not, that's
it's pathetic.
I know. The next 4 games really decide where West Ham's going to end up. The Kidderminster, the Watford at home, the Leicester away, and then Newcastle at home. I expect 3, 6, 9. If we get 7 points out of them games, I'll be able to move.
I will too. I think we beat Kidderminster. I think it's a difficult game, but we win because, frankly, I don't think we're going to have one of those famous upsets at this point in the season. Watford is not going to be an easy match. They have a new manager. They, as you said, Chris, we found out they brought in a lot of players.
We're going to have possession the whole time, which
we're going to have possession the whole time. I think we can win. I think it's going to be like a 2-1. Difficult holding them off at the end. You know what I mean? But man, I'm not confident, to be honest with you.
Really quickly,
I'm really not. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm not.
Here are the stats with regards to when we played Watford in December. As in Watford, they scored in the 4th minute. We ended up winning 4-1.
Yeah, and we
equal on shots, equals on target. We had 57% possession.
Right.
Equal fouls. Yeah.
And we do play historically well against Watford, but they are a wounded animal. All right. They are, and this is the most dangerous club you can play. New manager, bottom of the table, trying to survive in the Premier League, turn the corner into the
You're
new year.
either gonna thump them or get thumped.
Exactly. That's how I
Yeah.
feel. And that's what really worries me is that this
Yeah,
could be one of those surprise, like a 2-1 reversal where they just come out, and we're a little bit complacent. Um, and they have to win. And Newcastle, that's going to be the same thing. That's what I don't like about these matches coming up. I'd rather have a Southampton or a Palace or just somebody who's kind of, even Leicester is really not a bad opponent in a way.
yeah.
Down
I
the
also
bottom of the table, it's tough down there. It's tough. We know that.
I also do hate the fact that Watford, like I said, haven't won since middle of November.
I wish that weren't the case. I know.
Like that. That's one of those where it feels like they're due one. Granted, who do they play before us? Hang on here. They played Burnley at Burnley 3 days before. So maybe they get a win there, and then we trounce them.
So they do have a match before we do. Is what you're saying. Okay, I guess I didn't realize that. I'm the schedule. I thought Kitterman's.
Yeah, it's because they were
on Saturday, but we didn't play on Saturday. So maybe they beat Burnley and get the manager bounce, and then they come back to being terrible. Actually, I think the ideal scenario would be for them to beat Burnley. I think that's what we want, because if they lose to Burnley, it's going to be panic time, and we don't want to play a wounded animal. Those are
we don't want to. Team with their backs against the wall, nothing to lose.
Yeah, they're so dangerous. All right. My voice is held up all night. Makes me very happy that I'm back. Sorry, we've been a little inconsistent in terms of when we've done our shows here lately. Try to get back on a more regular schedule. If not this week, then hopefully next week, Wednesday night. So who was with us tonight? We had Tom, of course. Always glad to have Tom here. Scott in Nevada, always good to have him here. Tim briefly came on and then cut us off. We had to start a new show. Thank you, Tim. But seriously, thank you, Tim. Of course, Lucas, James, and Chris for dropping in. And I in all the talk about deadline day and everything else that we talked about, I really do want to say that I've enjoyed this so much over the last 3 years. It's our 3rd anniversary. I don't know, Chris, if you even knew that.
Yeah, I saw us talking about it, but yeah.
Yeah, so we have made so many good friends from the, starting with the night Tim and I sat and talked for an hour about transfer deadline night 3 years ago. The people we've met, the experiences we've had, the friends we've made, including all of you in the chat room, all of you on the screen right now, people like Selly, people like John Nolan.
I haven't heard from John in a while.
I haven't. People like Adam Frankel. People I haven't talked to in a while, but they're all part of our West Ham family. Danny down in North Carolina. I meant to have him on tonight. I sent the link to him too late. Anyway, all
Irish Tommy,
absolutely. Katie and Rebecca and
Charlie,
of course, Charlie Walsh, also known as West Ham Clips. not really, but I do like to make that joke because for some reason it drives Tom batty. Anyway, Peach, Ken, all these people. It's been a fantastic 3 years, and I've enjoyed it thoroughly. And we're going to keep going.
Same through grad school. Help keep me grounded.
Yes, we all went through a pandemic together. We almost got relegated together. We survived. We qualified for Europe. We lived through a dark day today, but we do it all together. And we've had wonderful. We had Bill Gardner on here. We've had ex-players, Jack Collison. We had Matty Taylor and Matt Jarvis and Paul Konchesky, who was a fantastic guy.
That video still gets recommended to me on YouTube to this day.
Paul Konchesky?
Yeah, without fail.
I just thought he was wonderful. All of the ex-players have been great, but he in particular was great to talk to. And Ian Bishop has done a lot of stuff now, not for a while, but he's done a lot of stuff with it. So we've met all these former players. Chuck Core, who wrote a wonderful book about West Ham in the 80s.
Tom Clark, Sam Ingersoll,
Tom Clark. Absolutely loads of people have been on with us. Ray, where's Ray Borum been lately? Anyway, the whole group, the players, the women's players who've moved on to different clubs now, Anna Morehouse and I can't remember the other, gonna forget their names. I apologize. Anyway, Allie and Reese who do the women's show. They do all these people all part of it. And anyway, we thank you for being a part of all this stuff. And hey, Nippon, how you doing, buddy? It's good to see you right here at the end. Peach and Ken and Mark and everybody. All right, y'all have a great evening. And,
Can I really quickly give a shout out? I love the fact that Lucas has had a black and white camera for the last like hour.
Lucas has had a rough old night, but I'll tell you what. Lucas is he's going to come.
Been a
back
rough
stronger.
month.
He's going to come back stronger because that's the kind of he has character.
Ever since he's been on E20, he's a changed man.
I still need to join you sometime.
Yes, he's
E20.
yes. E20, watch James's channel E20, which is also a great channel. Lucas had a rough old night, but he's going to be back.
He's back in color.
West Ham are going to come back next
We'll
week.
try.
I will, if I'm in a better mood, I'll put my flag back up and I'll wear a proper West Ham shirt. But tonight I'm protesting. Anyway, it's been great. We'll be back soon. I don't know when, but we'll be back soon. And Gary, yes, one of the best episodes we ever had. We had Gary's story time. We had 2 of those. I think those are brilliant. Go and look those up. Those are fantastic. All right. I'm finally going to stop talking. We will see you soon. We'll check us on Twitter and everything else.
On to another year.
Yep. Come on, you Irons.
Come on, you Irons.
Sign some players.